Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently seeing if we can bring this back with the consumption taxes. And deficit-wise, it's not that bad, actually. I think it's reasonable. So we're going to continue constructing here for a bit. And this piece 3D is fine. A revolutionary for our time, huh? A character will appear. That'll be fine for the moment. So I did just watch our deficit jump up by 20k. And there's a lot of subsidies from the railways right now. So that's fair enough. The question is, can we get away with unsubsidizing some of these railways? And I'm finding this screen to not be generally particularly useful for that. But I think the answer is overall no. And I'm wondering, why is their profitability where they're at? That's a question. So let's just hop over to a random building where we can get a more helpful tooltip. Cool. So we can look at our railway here. Coal and engines are both very expensive right now. And that's primarily the problem that we've got here. Okay. Noted. So with that being the case, we should be seeing both coal mines and engine industries expanding. That said, where do we have motor industries? We do have some motor industries in Rhineland, Prussian Saxony, and Pomerania. They're not particularly profitable. But we can definitely build an additional one in, say, Posen, and then one in Anhalt as well. We'll get that underway for the time being. And that'll do. So we're just going to continue to cruise on through here. And yeah, we're spending about 105,000 per week, which is not ideal, but we'll take a look at that. I'm just feeling it out for right now. That's our primary goal. Now, the electric telegraph has been unlocked, which is fine. I'm not too concerned about that. And we have a couple of unproductive trade routes, which we should probably cancel those. There we go. And there's a lot of turmoil. This is fully expected at this point. Rubber ironclads and opium, huh? Interesting. Well, let's just continue our construction, and we're just watching our GDP skyrocket for the moment. But we are very close to being out of peasants. That's another concern that I have right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. How far away from France are we right now? We're still about 42,000. Or rather, 42 million pounds in GDP away from France. So that's fine. Well, let's just continue our spending for the moment. Power plants are going to be finishing up in Posen soon enough. And I definitely do want to see those motor industries coming a bit more online. But we're building incredibly fast here. Absolutely incredibly fast. Like, look at all of these constructions that are underway right now. That is insane. The vast majority, in fact, all of our deficit is currently going into subsidies. We're paying more in subsidies than we are in deficit. So that's definitely somewhat concerning. Okay, the Ripper murder at large was successfully completed. The killer known as the Cologne Ripper, who has long plagued the state of North Rhine, has finally been arrested. The inspector grips his walking stick fiercely. He hardly smiles. The face of the culprit is dimly lit by the cell light. From this distance, he resembles one of the inspector's childhood friends, his cousin, every other policeman. He doesn't even lift his head when they serve him some bland porridge. It's over now. The inspector can't take his eyes off the man. The light flickers. Someone has already told the press. The office is filled with voices. The killer mutters something. He hardly smiles. We got the bastard. Okay, cool. So we get plus 10% authority for a while. Does that allow us to run another consumption tax? Yes, actually, on wine. Cool. So that'll offset some of this deficit. But again, our deficit is pretty much entirely due to subsidies. I wish there was an easy way from this screen Well, I suppose we can see here. If it's not subsidized... Oh my, that was exciting. Minus 100% productivity compared to the average railway. So what are the reasons for this? Presumably it's just due to pricing, is my guess. So, automatically expand it, sure. And then we do subsidize that. I'm just looking through these and looking at the more expensive ones. Like, for example, this one. So our wage subsidies are 10,000 here. The input goods subsidy is only 5,000. So it's definitely wages. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting indeed. So if we were to unsubsidize this, I expect there to be two things that happen. One, we immediately make a profit. Two, our market access should start dropping dramatically, which will cause this to turn. And there we go. We're starting to see the market access drop. Yeah, definitely. So this does need to continue to be subsidized. I wish... Let's see, 2.2. So does that indicate that we do not need to subsidize this railway? But we need to subsidize all the rest. Perhaps. I'm still learning how to read some of these. This has some productivity. It's only costing us 468 to subsidize it. I don't think it's worth it to not subsidize it. So realistically, we want to subsidize all of these then. But that's still only a deficit of 56K. So we're definitely improving on that front. That's really, really good. So because of our pause, we do have a lot of these to catch up on, right? That's definitely a thing that's going to take some time. But let's get all of this built here. We're building incredibly fast. And our GDP is skyrocketing at this point. It is going up very, very swiftly. So that's great. We're seeing additional coal mines coming in. And we're also seeing these motor industries being built. Eventually, those will look to expand, I hope. Okay, looking in our current situation here, the turmoils are what they are. We do have an unproductive trade route here, which we can go ahead and cancel for the moment. Sounds good. Okay, proponents of liberal reform. Honestly, these are all the interest groups basically in the country. Done. So everybody likes us a little bit more. Cool. So that is absolutely perfect. I would argue that our balance is improving. It does come down to those subsidies, though. That's for sure. That's for sure. So the question becomes, how can we make our railways more profitable? We need to investigate this. I think this is very clear. So let's hop into our buildings tab here, and we can look at what we're running right now. We're currently running steam trains. We don't have the technology for electric trains. Although that would likely be worthwhile. We're currently running cargo prioritization, and that is to keep our infrastructure levels high. If we bump up to steel passenger carries, actually in both of these cases the infrastructure changes about the same. That said, maybe at this juncture we should run steel passenger carriages. Yes, it will drop our infrastructure. Yes, our market access will drop a lot. But we can work on that. So if we were to do this and swap back here, That's going to cost us a little bit here, and our market access is going to suffer. But we have the capability right now to expand our infrastructure, and this will make these much more profitable once they get switched over. In theory. In theory. So, we should be seeing our market access dropping here. And indeed we are. So, what we need to do here, for sure, is we need to go into our industry, or rather into our trade here, go into railway, and boost these in locations where they're not already being built. So we can see over here. I'm going to alt-click to place this at the top of the construction queue. So each one of these is going to expand our market access by some amount. But I don't know by how much. That would be a useful thing to know. We'll get that underway, and we're going to watch for additional locations where our market access drops. There definitely will be some, I believe. Yes. So we can see in Silesia and in Posen, both of those require additional rails. And I suspect we'll need some more in Westphalia as well. Now, we did have our rail overbuilt previously. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's actually looking somewhat decent on that front. Stirring radicalism, huh? Local revolutionary activity. 20% of the pops in Pomerania or Brandenburg becoming more radical. Could happen anywhere. So that radicalism is becoming an issue. That's for sure. Let's check in on our market access. I believe we're going to need another railway in Westphalia. I think that's pretty clear. So we'll get that underway. And that market access will start improving as we get those railways built. And we're getting a lot of other things built as well. So that's absolutely perfect. The good word of the revolution. Okay, yeah. More interest group approval. Fantastic. We'll take it. Okay. So we're going to be finishing up some coal mines here very shortly. That's great. Continuing to expand our economy here. We're still number 2 worldwide, so we have not taken over and become the strongest economy in the world just yet. But we're definitely getting there. I believe we are closing in as well. What's France at? 261? Okay, so we're like 33 million behind. We'll see. As long as we're able to continue this construction pace, it should be pretty good. We're seeing some sulfur mines finishing up here. We're seeing a lot of things being built. Our market access is continually improving, or rather will be improving in about 6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks. So that's good. We do have an unproductive trade route here, and that is something that I would like to deal with. There we go. Fantastic. But just across the board, we're seeing tons and tons of construction, which is exactly what we want. 234.5 million now for our GDP versus France's 260. We're catching up. We are absolutely catching up here. So that's great. Standard of living is increasing. And that's very good too. We want our radical population to eventually start to drop. It's high. Our radical population is very high. There's no doubt about that. And our loyalist population is pretty low. We'd like to start dropping our taxes soon enough. But overall, this is feeling decent. It's definitely feeling decent to me. We do have this stirring radicalism here, once again. That's unfortunate. Electrical capacitors have been unlocked. That's beautiful. So that unlocks us a number of things. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. For now, let's run nitrogen fixation. Beautiful. And let's hop over to our buildings, and we're going to look through these and upgrade these where we can. So, automatic power looms looks good. We want to increase our productivity after all. Down to steamships, huh? Okay. We'll give it a go and see how that feels. And what else do we have here? Anything else that we can improve? Looks like not really at the moment. Cool. So that'll do for now. That will cost us some to convert over, and that'll probably drive up the price of electricity somewhat. But that's to be expected. What is going on here? A diplomatic play in North Germany. Radical Hesse-Kassel versus us? Interesting. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We're definitely... Our ally began mobilizing their generals. I see. They're trying to stamp out the revolution on us. That's impressive, for sure. We should probably begin some form of mobilization. That said, how strong are these guys? We're not going to need much of a mobilization. I think that's pretty clear. So if we just mobilize this guy, yes, it will cost us money, but that's fine. And I believe there's only the one. There are a few fronts over here. Okay, so we can just have him advance. Okay, we can just have him advance, say, this front. Cool. We shouldn't need more than that, in theory. Looking at the actual diplomatic play here, basically everybody's siding with us, which is expected. So that's good. We will continue our construction. It's unfortunate that this is causing us to deficit spend a little bit more, but for the time being, I think it's fine. So are we going to need more railway in Westphalia? I suspect so. We'll also, actually, let's check in here. Brandenburg, we are currently expanding in, and it looks like that automatically started. But I think we need another one in Westphalia. So we'll get that underway, but I'm not prioritizing that right now. Cool. So this war goal is pretty decent for us, actually. This will completely connect us together. I love it. Assuming that we actually get this. Now, they could back down. They're uncertain about this. And looking into it, nobody is leaning on their side. This is good. This is quite good. There's an event out over here, the Good Word of the Revolution. Cool. And we're going to have some more industries finishing up their construction fairly soon here. So that's great. As far as our diplomatic play here goes, things are progressing. Nobody's on their side. So surely they're going to back down here, right? But if they do we get our war goal? I suspect we do. They are currently worried. Bremen decided to join them. Okay. They backed down, yielding the primary war goal to us. Interesting. We don't seem to have actually gotten that. But I guess that's okay. So presumably our soldiers... Yeah, they demobilized. Good. So that'll do just fine. We're continuing to construct. And we're definitely constructing away. There's no doubt about that. We are constructing perhaps too hard. A little too hard here. Our subsidies continue to be very, very high. Electric railways is currently spreading. That's good. Bremen just became a protectorate of Sweden. That's a little awkward, but we're not really making any hostile moves right now. We are simply working on our economy, and we're catching up to France. We're now only 16 million behind them in GDP. And that's beautiful. I'm really happy to see that. We're just going to continue tearing through this construction queue, which is an insane construction queue. I'm not going to lie. Let's look at our market access here. It does look like we need to expand market access in a number of locations. Market access over here is low. We can't expand this, even though that is low. We can expand in Mecklenburg. Everywhere else is mostly automatically expanding, which is good. I'm glad to see that. Very, very glad to see that. The market access on its own will go a long ways towards getting rid of this deficit. We do have these two unproductive trade routes, which we'll get rid of this one. And did the other one just vanish? Apparently. We are lacking some convoys, which is interesting. I was under the impression we had plenty of convoys. Apparently that's not the case. Sure. For the time being, I'm not that concerned about it. Okay, more pops are becoming radical. That's reasonably expected. Okay. We're just going to continue to construct here. Glassworks are... Oh, more of them. Okay, that event just keeps on popping up. More constructions are finishing up all the time, though. And that will help our market access. We're definitely seeing our market access drop, and we do need to continue to work on market access, keeping that up as high as we can. I'm just checking in, and these all do have constructions underway there, so that's looking good. And this was expected that our market access would drop like this. That is fully expected. I am hoping, however, that this has made it so that our railways are hopefully a little bit more profitable. That's a negative. So we're still at minus 100% productivity compared to the average railway. I feel like there's something going wrong here. Would we be better off government running our railways? So 2.25k capitalists. Let's try it and see what happens with that. Getting those capitalists out of the picture for right now. Making the railways... Actually, that's only in Hesse. I wanted to do that for all of our railways. But let's take a quick look here. So this is a... No, that was not the button I wanted. Let's go back. This is minus 2.34k. That does cheapen things a little bit for us. So if we nationalize our railways here, that will make things a little bit better for us. It won't be a massive improvement, but that will help matters somewhat. Okay, noted. And it may continue to improve over time, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. So a big part of it, I think, is that we are on steam trains. Bumping up to electric trains would be a big deal. I think. I think that would actually cost us more, looking at the cost between coal and electricity. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'm also keeping an eye on our credit versus credit cap. That's definitely a thing that I'm watching. But we're going to need to eventually stop building railways, because railways are expensive, but we don't really have a better way to increase market access down over here. So that's something that we definitely need. but these railways will continually be expensive for us. And right now, our railways are wiping out all of our other income sources. Just through those subsidies. No doubt about that one. I still feel like we're doing something wrong with the railways. I definitely feel like we're doing something wrong with the railways there. So the question is, are we paying capitalists or bureaucrats more? And it looks like we're paying bureaucrats less than we're paying capitalists. So that seems like that's fine. As long as we're going to subsidize them, we may as well have them be government run, right? And we can't really afford to get away from the subsidization, which is unfortunate, but we can't. It's not something that we can do at this time. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue to expand our market access. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Kadra, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.